Oh, yeah. Here we are on Outnumbered Overtime. OT, baby. And we've got Lou Dobbs along for the ride. And I want to start off our talk with something that I think Matlock 12C hits the nail on the head with.
Oh, Matlock.
Vote. Be it for Hillary or Trump. Go vote. Your silence at the polls is your consent. Think about it. I love that message.
Ooh. What if you're voting for a third-party candidate?
It doesn't matter. Just go vote.
Well, it actually does matter a lot.
Don't sit home. But
That's a wasted vote.
No.
Oh,
well,
no.
okay,
It's wasted.
Okay, but you want Trump
people to be
supporters
engaged.
when there is a four-way race, when Gary Johnson and Jill
Don't
Stein
you want people
are
to
included
vote?
in the mix, it ends up taking more votes away from Hillary.
We all know that there are only two candidates who can be president of the United States. No one in my opinion, no one should be wasting that opportunity to vote for whomever they think should be president amongst those two. At a day when the Libertarian and the Green Party have competitive candidates, I will say fine.
They will once they're included in more polls and on that all-important presidential debate stage. But the Commission on Presidential Debates is a cartel, much like how you refer to the Hillary
Clinton
campaign.
cartel.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay,
that
Spikester
bad?
Zero says on the live chat,
Arbitrary.
record number of early voting here yesterday. I don't know where he is. Is he in Nevada? Where is he? Those lines were long in Nevada. He says he saw a lot of Trump signs, Hillary Clinton not so much. I'm not sure where he's writing in from, but we do know that Nevada had some long lines.
Same in Georgia.
Well, you know, dead people can't
That's
read.
true. Oh, stop. You know, I do want to correct something, though, because I mean, there are what, 1.8 million people who have deceased, and yet those
About
names
2 million
are
a year.
still on the rolls. And so I hear people say, yeah, you know, dead people are voting. That's not true. That
Well,
means their
actually,
names
some
are
dead people
still...
are. As a matter
Yeah, but
of fact,
that's only happened 31 times since 2000, and 1 billion votes have been cast. I mean, that's
Are you
a fact.
kidding me that you're talking about one block in Chicago?
impersonation
Are you
fraud
kidding?
that
Come
you're
on.
talking about.
Give me a
No,
break.
you know that's not true. Anyway, but the point I was making is,
What?
I mean, the dead people are not actually. This is not like Night of the Walking Dead. It's that they're still on the rolls. What are you watching?
Us. Us on Facebook Live.
How are we? Is it in the future?
No, it's like
What did I say yet?
I did my sound on off button, and either way, I can still hear us.
That's because we're sitting right next to you.
We're right here.
Oh, my
Goodness gracious!
And that is our technology moment for
Can we
today's
talk
edition.
about Texas for a minute? Because we had during the live version of us on
I was
TV,
born in Texas.
I
didn't know that.
Where?
Oh, where?
People are going to want to know.
Abilene.
Childress,
Where's that?
up north,
I love Texas.
right in the little corner there near Lubbock.
Oh, all right.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, I've been to Lubbock. I ate at a. Was it a
Steak
what is it? A
restaurant?
Luby's. I think I ate up there.
At a what?
There's Luby's. It's like
Isn't that a truck stop?
no. Luby's is delicious. It's like it's a
It's a
cafeteria. It's really good. Let's move on. I'm just
Kennedy!
hungry.
Well, I spent a lot of time in truck stops,
but
so
Texas is
they all
something
sound
that
familiar
on
to me.
the trajectory
Mesquite
map
barbecue.
for Donald Trump's campaign.
Yeah.
It's still red.
Uh-huh.
It's a border state. I mean, a lot of what he has talked about from the beginning, 18 months ago, when he was first, really coming onto the scene and kicking the pants out of those other 16 who were running, was about the wall and
I
immigration.
know, but his
illegal-
biggest enemies live there. I mean, he's got the Bushes there that would do
Interesting.
anything.
So why
The
is it
Bushes-
pink, do
They're
you
really
think, on
not
the Fox
much.
News map, that it's in play? Why do you think that? Because of those people?
I was thinking between the Bushes and Ted Cruz. I mean, he's made a lot of enemies in Texas.
But he
That was
says he
my opinion.
supports him now.
That is very tepid support.
Yeah. No, I what's your theory?
My theory on Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My theory on Texas is he'll win it by a significant margin.
Really?
And that the voters in Texas are as embarrassed by the very un-Texas behaving and ways of the Bushes. And even the evangelicals, who are a major support for Ted Cruz, are not thrilled with his performance in Cleveland, in which he gave one of the, I guess the expression is the damnedest speeches anybody ever heard in convention.
Kane Kahn writes on the live chat, is Disney going to go after the Democrats for copyright infringement with that Donald Duck that was sent out by the Hillary Clinton
No.
and that group? No, you don't think so.
No, they'll go after her the way the FBI went after her.
Well said.
With donuts and a kit glove, but we're going to ask you some questions, but we're not going to put you in.
We're gonna
write them
ignore
down.
all this
Matters,
evidence.
They'd already paid off the wife of the guy who was second in
Okay,
charge.
yeah.
So
And then
it's
he
all
gets
for show.
promoted.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look at all scandalous, does it?
No, that's not.
Do you
Profound
think, and this is just
impropriety.
my question, do you think that beyond the election, Hillary Clinton will still be answering questions about the WikiLeaks dumps, or do you think they'll stop? Do you think that it's just been purely political by that website?
Oh, I think that the FBI
still
is
being
going to
asked
be.
about it.
I think the FBI is going to be answering questions and contemporaneously.
Does James
so will
Comey
Hillary.
quit? FBI director?
I have to tell you, the prima facie, there's a case here, it seems to me, for, first of all, serious congressional investigation, and I think at some point criminal prosecution of those top officials. This is one of the most spectacular failures of integrity in our government's history.
Okay, but here's what I see. She will no longer have Donald Trump shielding her from the media. She already has a very spotty track record with the media. You know, she's been bad on the First Amendment. She's corralled them in a rope line, and now, you know, she's not going to have Donald Trump deflecting anything, and she is the embodiment of the establishment. She is going to have so much animosity concentrated at her in the shortest amount of time. And I would say the same thing for Donald Trump. Either one of these candidates, whoever becomes president next, will be the most despised person to ever hold that office within 6 months.
That's a burden, though, that is worthwhile for one of these candidates, because we have to clean up this cesspool that is Washington, D.C. This is not reform for the hell of it. It's reform for the sake of the country and our future.
Donald Trump does not go away.
KK Moss.
She does if she loses.
Oh, sugar. Gosh, there's so many people on the live chat. Here it is. KK Moss writes, "Hi all, I'm making a comment in regard to something discussed at the beginning of the TV show. Wasn't near a keyboard. Harris, you mentioned the polls and people not participating with them. I can only speak for myself, but I refuse to participate in political polls in any way, shape, or form anymore. You don't know who's really calling, what their agenda is, and what they're going to do with your information. Who am I voting for? It's between me and God. My gut feeling is that a lot of people feel the same way. Anyone else feel as I do about it?"
Yes, I totally agree, because first of all, I've seen they're ringing my husband's phone off the hook. It comes up Quinnipiac, you know, all this stuff.
You loved getting
He
your
won't
call the other
answer,
day.
right? Yeah, he won't answer because he says, "Why would I spend my time doing that?" I got a call. I answered because I was fascinated on the process of what the questions sound like, how they phrase them. They are so slanted.
Yeah.
The way they phrase them. I mean, it was amazing to me. And also, I was surprised how...
Was it Quinnipiac?
I didn't know. No, mine was, they didn't want to identify who they were.
They don't
Well,
want
and
to
that's what
identify
this woman is
themselves.
saying.
Yeah,
She's-
this one they
she
wouldn't
doesn't
identify.
trust it.
I talked to them
It's
because I wanted to
push
hear
polling.
the questions. Sandra said, "You're an idiot," in essence, because you're on television. You were talking to these
This
people.
could have been anybody.
It's true. Could have totally
Well,
been
that's what
anybody. You're
this viewer
absolutely
is
right
saying.
about that. But I do wonder about the accuracy of these phone calls, given that I've only answered one of the many I've gotten and was just interested in the questions. My husband blows them off. Other people want to answer, like, where are they getting this data?
Okay, but the other thing is, I sat through a very interesting seminar at Freedom Fest a couple years ago. Emily Akins, who now works for the Cato Institute, was talking about methodology. And she was talking about how you phrase questions in anticipation of the answer.
Yeah.
And you actually mold the results far ahead of when you actually go forth with your poll. And, you know, there is a great deal of manipulation in the phrasing alone.
So you're saying that there is a narrative that's already created.
My wife, when she
Before
gets
you
a
ask.
call...
Yeah, you know what the answers are going to be based on the limited way you ask the question.
My wife, when she gets a call from someone who becomes one of these polling companies, she says, "I'm voting for Trump, thank you, goodbye," immediately.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Do they call back?
No.
Well, interestingly enough, that wasn't one of the questions. So on mine, they were going through, but it said, like,
She didn't really give it
have
that.
you decided? But it goes to Kennedy's point. You know, it was sort of, and then it said, you know, do you feel passionately about one of these candidates? And they asked everything about Trump and about Clinton in a roundabout way, and never got to
Who has time for that?
Yeah, I mean,
Who-
it was very. In which way are you leaning? Like, you know, there
Well,
was
you know
all
what's interesting this election cycle. In times past, and I think social media has played a big role in this, people felt like their voices were not going to be heard. Now, what I'm hearing from voters is, I'm going to
Stay
say
out
it
of my
loud and
business.
clear in the booth. And if I have anything to say, I have my own Twitter account. I'm like, oh, snap. Okay.
Well, and there's also a privacy issue that, you know, people
Yeah.
didn't have before. And so much of people's lives are now exposed that, it doesn't make you feel special, and B, people are just more protective of that.
And you look at these polls, take NBC's poll or ABC, two of the big outliers. You know what they're doing with it anyway, which is
You don't know.
driving an agenda and putting out really ridiculous polls.
Well, and you wonder, too, if there would ever be retribution, if your boss found out how you vote. I mean, that's what people say that they're concerned about. You know what I'm concerned about? The fact that you were here today and you had a good time.
Thank
Is
you,
that the
sir.
case?
I had a hoot. And
All right.
I always do, and thank you again so much.
Thanks, Lou.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow.